Happy Sunday, everybody. Well, okay, so today's one-a-day is this. Imagination. Okay, your imagination is the greatest gift that you will ever be given. Nothing will be more powerful than your imagination. Let me tell you something. If your mind can go there, then you can physically go there. Why is it that when you start to use your imagination and you start getting excited and you start feeling happy and you start feeling like, wow, this is great, this is what I want, this is my purpose, this is my passion, it gets shut down? Because understand something, the subconscious is built in a way which is 90% of your brain. That the more excited you get about something, the more fearful it is. If I could put a chip into your brain, that excitement, okay, would be something that you need to move on right away. Something that you need to stay. Why don't you stay there? When you use your imagination and you get excited and you feel thrilled about your life, why don't you stay there? Why? Because you're scared of making a mistake. Why? Because you're programmed not to make any decisions on your own, by yourself, for yourself, because that might just be selfish. Look, when your mind goes somewhere to a thought, an image, you need to keep it there. If it was done by you and it was high vibrational, remember something. I want you to get this. All frequencies are thoughts. The higher the frequency, the higher the thought. The better it is for you. The lower the frequency, the worse it is for you. Okay, I have a depressive thought. What happens? I get depressed. I have a fearful thought. I get fearful. Okay, I have an exciting thought. Okay, well, what am I going to get? I'm going to get excited. But here's the problem. When we get excited, our subconscious gets fearful. Look it doesn't matter if the thought is going to kill you or it's going to save your life or change your life. If it is too far off from the mind, it can't handle it. I'm going to give you a little example. So when I was 16 years old, I moved from Newfoundland and I moved to Halifax, Nova Scotia. Okay, we were very poor. We moved to a poor district. When I moved there, all the kids on that street that were from 16 to 18, they were smoking. So I'd come over, they go, hey, you want a cigarette? You want a cigarette? Okay, this is not for me. I'm not going to smoke, right? Because in my mind, I was told that smoking causes cancer. Smoking's not good for you. So these people are not good for me. So I leave. I come back a day or so later. This is a true story. Okay, they're all smoking. They're all toking. I hadn't smoked or toked yet. And I'm going, this is not for me. So I leave again. But then guess what? Now I'm questioning my subconscious beliefs to the point that I go back a third time. And they go, hi, would you like to have a toke? Well, would you like to have a smoke? So I have a puff of the cigarette. And of course, I'm told that if you have a puff of the cigarette, you're going to have a sore throat and you're going to cough. So of course, I got a sore throat and I coughed. But guess what? My mind said, he coughed, he got a sore throat, but he was happier. He's happier than he's been in a long time. So guess what? I go back there. So now I'm toking and a smoking, okay, and choking, but I'm not choking as much. So after about 2 to 3 weeks of bumming cigarettes, they're saying, why don't you buy your own? I remember that one too. And the reality is this, after about 3 weeks of smoking, my throat never hurt. My throat hurt because I was told that my throat would hurt. It would cause throat cancer or lung cancer or something. But guess what? Now my subconscious is going, oh, we must have been wrong. Because guess what? Every time Daryl smokes and he tokes, he's having a good time. Look, he's smiling. He's happy. So we were wrong. So understand something. Your subconscious is not your imagination. Oh, boy. people have no idea. Your imagination is something that is not tangible. It's not physical. It is your spirit energy. Your imagination, you better get this, your imagination is your spirit energy. And that was God's greatest gift, was your spirit. And when you're using your imagination, you're feeding your spirit, which means that you could heal from anything. You could heal from anything. You can recover from anything. And you'll recover so fast, it'll make your head spin. Look, you guys probably don't know me. Some of you do. Some of you don't want to know me. That's okay too. Love you anyway. And here's the deal. But I have to tell you something. That 98% of every surgery, 98% of all surgeries, 95% to 98% of things that you're going to suffer with, your family's going to suffer for the rest of your life, for the rest of their life, they don't have to. I'm here to tell you that. And I'm going around the world lecturing about it, but I'm proving it. People are walking in, okay, with lung problems, with knee problems, with hip problems, with spine problems, with fibroid tumors. Do I need to keep going with so much scar tissue from their surgeries that they feel they want to end their life? And within an hour to an hour and a half, we change that all around. And guess what? Now their imagination is opening up again, because maybe they can have the life that they always dreamed of. Maybe the information was wrong. Well, all of it's wrong. Hardly any information you get out there is even right. Look, no matter the thought or the image, if you can go there in your mind, you can go there in your physical body. But you have to give massive personal action and mind your own business, and never tell anybody about your imagination, your creation. Debbie Downers, David Downers, don't tell them. Don't share it with anyone. If somebody shares something with me, because I know that imagination is the greatest thing, because guess what? I created the largest clinic for the last year and a half in Mexico. We had 20 rooms. Okay, we had people come from all over the world. Okay, in a year and a half, we had not hundreds, but a few thousand people come to visit us. And now I close that down to do this world tour. I'm in Stuart, Florida. Tomorrow I start a whole life coach course, and it is the best emotional nutritional course on the planet. And I guarantee it. I give a money back guarantee on the first day. I'll blow your mind. And then when I finish that, my son, Dr. Sage Wolfe, will teach the most powerful body work. Why? Why is it most powerful? Well, I don't know. Does your chiropractor, your massage therapist, your acupuncturist, do they give a money-back guarantee on their treatments? We do. We do. Okay? So we teach our practitioners to do that as well. And all our practitioners around the world give a money-back guarantee on the first treatment that it will be more powerful than all the other treatments they got. Understand something. You got ruled, you got schooled, you got fooled. But here's the deal. Why am I talking about this? I'm going to come back to it. Because you don't own your imagination. Your imagination was shut down. Okay? Come on. What about the boogeyman? Okay? What about the boogeyman? Well, you don't just have the boogeyman when you're young. You have the boogeyman when you're older. And guess what? It's the same boogeyman. I mean, think about this, guys. Okay? How many times have you felt in a life-threatening situation? And I guarantee you that your life was only truly threatened maybe once in your whole lifetime. Maybe twice. But guess what? It can happen a few times a day because you're not in charge of your imagination. It's either shut right down. It's shut right down because you don't want to think anymore. Because when you are fearful, you go into fright, flight, and freeze. And guess what? All the blood leaves your brain and leaves your core and goes to your arms and legs. And even if you're not running, the energy is going there. And that's why you feel so bloody exhausted. And that's why you have stiff joints. That's why you've displaced calcium. That's why you got scar tissue. And they don't care. Nobody in the government cares for you. In the medical system, there are nurses and doctors that care for you, but their program's all wrong. Their program is all wrong. The program can't heal you because guess what? They're not using anything to heal you with. Tell me your doctor heals you. Tell me a medical doctor heals you. He's there for emergency care. You better start using your imagination because it is God's greatest gift to you. And understand, if your mind can go there, then you can physically go there. So whatever you want, okay, you can have in your lifetime. Think about when you used to have your imagination and you used to have that broomstick between your legs and you could fly. Remember when you were in the sandbox? Remember when you pretended to be a policeman or a fireman? Why can't you pretend to be what you want to be and go back and dust off your passion and your purpose? Look at. All your thoughts have a frequency and they all have a level of vibration. Now, how many of you know this? That every thought creates a symptom. Every thought, every negative thought creates a symptom. And if your imagination is not yours anymore and your subconscious has been reprogrammed that planet Earth is a life-threatening, fearful place to live, and we're just gonna, and it's all about the suffering, and there's nobody out there that can fix me. Okay, that's all a lie. But if you want to live with that, you go ahead. Okay? We think on frequencies. We think on frequencies. Now, how do we do that? Well, we go from an image that creates a thought that creates an emotion. Now, emotion is energy in motion. Is it going up or is it going down? Are you bringing yourself down or are you bringing yourself up? Let me tell you something. Somebody said to me yesterday, Dr. Wolfe, everybody I love disappoints me. And I said, that's not the problem. The problem is that everybody in your life will disappoint you to a certain degree. And that's not because they don't love you and care for you. It's because they have belief systems that they're not good enough and they can't follow through. So you have to understand something. It's all about imagination. And if their imagination's not working, then they're turned off. The reality is when people disappoint you, how long does it take for you to get back into your heart and stop tearing yourself and them apart? Let me tell you something. There are so many of you that, guess what? Soon as somebody disappoints you, you get so pissed off. And then depending on how they pissed you off, okay, how they disappointed you, is how much you're going to make your family suffer. And that's called love ransoming. You ransom love from your family until you get what you want to get. Imagination is everything, and when you stop using it and you start becoming the program, then you're going to be in big trouble. Let me tell you something. Put a bunch of thoughts together, you have an idea. Okay? Then take massive personal action on that idea, and you can do anything you want. The reality is this. Last year, when we would have a course, that course would fill up so fast that if we didn't watch it, we would have too many in the course. And I'm not kidding. This year, I'm telling you, and I know it's not about us. It's about fearful people. It's about people that have no imagination anymore and they're not living anymore. So, you're not thriving, you're not living your dreams, you're not living your passion, because guess what? Oh my God, the war in the Ukraine. Okay, we just got over COVID that doesn't exist. Okay, we're still going through the war in the Ukraine that exists, but guess what? Not for all the wrong reasons, and everybody's getting bent out of shape. I mean, look at the money that Canada and the United States are giving to this war. Guys, we're being sucker punched. Okay, so you go ahead, go to war with yourself, go to war with your family, go to war with people with different beliefs. Okay, I'm not into politics, I'm not into religion, I'm not into anything except I know that I have to have unconditional love for all my brothers and sisters around this world, and that's it. So I might have stirred up a few things right now, but I'm going to tell you something. My phone number here is 469-714-8689. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it and keep saying it. Why? Because if you want to text me, all right? If you want to text me, all right, you got questions, I'm going to sit here and answer them. If you don't have questions, I'm not going to stay here. I'm going to go back here on Facebook and take a look right now. Oh, TikTok, just so you know, I would definitely let you comment, but the problem is I get a lot of views. I'll get I could get 20,000 views on TikTok, and then we'll have about 50 people telling me to go to hell. I wish you would die. We know what you're up to. It's a distraction, so I apologize, TikTok. If you want to come on Facebook, though, or if you want to TikTok, if you want to text me at that phone number, 469-714-8689, I'll take your questions. But everybody, see if you can be nice, okay? You don't know me as I don't know you, so let's not jump to any conclusions. I'm going to tell you something, whether you believe it or not. It's about one love, one law, and it's unconditional love for everyone on this planet. So you don't have to love me, you don't have to like me, but tomorrow when I start this whole life coach course, I have one job, and that's to restore the imagination in everybody that comes to this course, get everyone to believe that they need to fill up their own heart and not count on their family, their friends, or the world to give them any love at all. And I'm not saying that people aren't going to, they're still going to, but what I want people to do is fill up their own heart, okay, so they don't make other people responsible, so they don't get offended or hurt. Wouldn't that be cool? How about this? Continually need approval from other people or taking things personal. You'll never do it when you learn to fill up your own heart. And believe it or not, you didn't have a heart when you came here. You were pure spirit, which was you were beyond love. But while you're down here, the only way to protect yourself is to fill your own heart up with love from yourself and then shine that light. Oh my God, wouldn't it be great if you stop judging people, stop judging yourself, and even somebody can be nasty or their views don't match yours and you can still have unconditional love for them. It doesn't mean that you're going to like their beliefs. You may not even like them, but have unconditional love for them. You might not like their beliefs, but the reality is this: as long as they can get us fighting within ourselves and with each other, they're going to win all the time. Okay, yeah, and everybody here that thinks the government is there for you or going to do anything for you, well, I just feel so sorry for you. You have one hell of a ride ahead of you. Here we go. Ready? Look at this. Isn't that cool? There it is. One text. And then I'll go back on Facebook. My 15-year-old isn't 80 pounds yet, not 5 foot yet. What can I do? 1 second, guys. What can I do for him? He can't breathe through his nose. He has a heart murmur, but I don't trust the doctors. Please help. Well, first of all, guess what? Do you know how many people have a heart murmur? Okay. Next thing is, please text me right away. Is your son on any type of dairy? So that would be milk. That would be cheese. That would be yogurt. Right away, text me back. So he's not 80 pounds. Does your son drink 50 pounds? Oh, well, there you go. I'm going to tell you something right now, sweetheart. You didn't give me your name. And maybe I might be calling him sweetheart, but that's okay too, because we're all sweethearts. But listen to me. I'm telling you, you get him off of the cheese, the dairy, and the yogurt. Natalie, all you got to do is get him off the cheese, the dairy, and the yogurt. And I just love this one. This one, I really love this one. Dr. Wolfe, if it's organic milk or cheese or yogurt, not pasteurized, it's great for you. No, it's not. Let me just say this right now, Natalie. And I'm going to come on here and do this as often as I can while I travel, okay? I'm getting used to this now because I don't have my own studio anymore. But the reality is this. First of all, what mankind does is do one thing. How much money I can make, honey. It's how much money I can make. It's not about cow's milk being good for us. You know, why don't we go out and milk a monkey? Monkeys are more closer to humans. Got to catch them first. But the reality is did you know that 7 to 10 days after you stop breastfeeding your child, they no longer make the enzyme that breaks down mammal milk? So you think you can go to cow's milk? Guys, here's a clue. Cows have 4 stomachs, okay? That's how they digest cow's milk. Also, the molecule in cow's milk is 20 times larger than mother's milk, so we can't digest it. Also, casein, which everybody knows about, is actually a poison, and it actually triggers the brain just like some kind of drug. So when you're craving that piece of cheese, it's not because it's healthy for you, it's because it's actually working on your brain like a drug. So there's the first thing. And then how much bread are you giving your son? Okay, and the other thing, he's 15 years old. When you give him any money, he's at the corner store buying cancer candies, because the only thing that's in a convenience store is cancer candies. And guess what? Every time he eats out, he probably goes through a drive-through. And understand, what do you say here? He can't breathe through his nose. Well, he can't breathe through his nose, and here's why. When you take in an inflammatory food, okay, so that is a food that now there is no such thing as allergies. There is no such thing as allergies, so he's going to go to a doctor. Somebody's going to say he's got allergies, but he hasn't got an allergy. Allergy is, when people have allergies, it's the inability to break down food, and the food becomes a toxin. So why isn't things that are allergic to some people allergic to all people? And I'm going to tell you why, and you're not going to believe me, but it's got to do with the frequency of their emotions and what type of personality they have. And I'm telling you, I've been doing this long enough and strong enough that people come to me and go, my son's been tested for allergies and he can't eat eggs. Well, no, he can't digest eggs properly. But the reality is why don't you go and try this? Go give him a raw organic egg in a blender drink of strawberries and oat milk, and then guess what? He'll be able to digest it because it's not cooked. A raw egg can be absorbed about up to 78%, where a cooked egg is around 17% or less. And the reality is this. Now you're going to get raw egg salmonella. Yeah, when's the last time you heard that somebody had salmonella from raw eggs? And go buy just healthy eggs, as healthy as possible. You know what? That's not even true. You know, the one thing that you can be guaranteed is that the herd, the majority, that 80% of the population will never have critical thinking. All they do is just pass on anything you say. They're just robotic, and that's it. Okay. The other thing is I guarantee you, Natalie, please text me back right away. Your son is not drinking 2 quarts of water a day. And if he were to drink 2 quarts of warm water and or warm to hot water, and it was structured water, look at our structured water unit on docofdetox.com, and he were to put Black Diamond in there, okay, or you were to just add a little bit of a couple drops of no dairy and sugar will help him grow. He still wets the bed too. Well, that's because he has a bowel problem. Okay, here's why people wet the bed. So you wet the bed when you have inflammation. So we would call that IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome, and he's pooping into his pelvis, irritating his bladder. Natalie, whether you know this or not, why don't you go into my library and watch The Highway to Health. I'm going to talk about his digestive tract from his mouth to his rectum. Then go look at Holy Crap, the Holy Grail, your large intestine. Watch those 2 things, and I'll make you more intelligent than any practitioner you've gone to. Now, if you would understand that your son's bladder sits right in front of the last 3 inches of his bowel, and he's got a bowel problem. If you don't believe me, why don't you go in and take a look at his bowel movement? And understand, everyone, if your bowel movement sinks to the bottom of the toilet, then you're dehydrated. If your bowel movement comes out and the bowel movement looks cracked, you're dehydrated. If it comes out in pieces, you're dehydrated. If your bowel movement, he is very constipated. Well, that's why he's got the heart murmur. Your son is dehydrated. Now, understand something. When you're dehydrated, you will have a heart murmur. People are going, this guy doesn't know anything. Well, guess what? I know more than you think I do. Thank you very much. I've been 40 years in this business, so even if I'm as dumb as a stump, I've learned something. So you know what? Here's the deal. This is why I don't have TikTok to be able to comment, because everybody's always just ranting. I want you to challenge me with brains. That's all I want you to do. Challenge me with brains. That's all I'm asking. Okay? And understand something. Every one of you, you keep saying, I want different in my life. So here's different, baby. And then when I come on, it's like, oh my God, who does he think he is? He's coming up against all our beliefs. Hey, listen, if I tore down all your beliefs, but I only gave you a few prominent, dominant beliefs that were actually based in unconditional love for yourself, where would you be? He is very constipated. If he was younger, I'd try enemas. Well, guess what? All you got to do is get him this. Get him on daily cleansing tea. Call me if you want. The number you'll call me on, and you can call me tomorrow, which is Monday, is 469-861-8884. And I will do a 20-minute consult with you, and we'll nail this. Heart murmur my butt, will you? Anybody that has a heart murmur, guess what? How would you like to have a pacemaker put in you? Go to the wrong doctor and it'll happen just like that. And guess what your son has? He has a breathing problem, which means he's not taking in the oxygen he wants. So do you think he's getting enough oxygen, Natalie, to his heart? Do you think he is? So his heart's going, and that's probably what his nose sounds like, because guess what? Because of the dairy, his sinuses are inflamed. Okay? If he was younger, I tried to... What do you mean no? I don't know what no means. If he's eating dairy, his sinuses are inflamed. If he's taking sugar in, his sinuses are inflamed. If he's taking in too many flour products, his sinuses are inflamed. If he's taking in any processed food, his sinuses are inflamed. And you know he doesn't eat right when he leaves the house. So, and if he eats at school, that's all poison, right? So the reality is it's very difficult to be a parent today, because what they've done is that they just haven't adulterated the adults. All teenagers are drug addicts. And when I say this, they're probably drug addicts too, but I'm talking about drug addicts in the foods they eat, because 90% of all the food that we eat today, that I'm talking about 80% of the population minimum, okay, which is not true. It's actually 95% of the population is eating food that never existed 90 years ago. And and guess what? So 90% of all the food that we eat today didn't exist 90 years ago. And meanwhile, 90% of all the diseases we have today never existed 90 years ago. So he is always home and homeschooled. Well, wonderful. What time can I call you? Well, just call me during the day. And when you come in, I got your number here. I'm gonna put your name on, okay, Natalie, onto this. So when it comes in, if I miss your call, I'll call you back. And understand, if he's homeschooled, Natalie, how many cookies does he eat, Natalie? Okay. Why don't you tell me, Natalie? Just do me a favor. No judgment, please. No judgment, Natalie. I will never judge you. Now, tell me all of the junk food that you buy and make. Now, junk food is cookies, it's donuts, it's cakes, it's pies, okay? And even if it's coconut ice cream, it's junk food. Anything that's processed is junk food. So it's health food, junk food. Well, it's still junk food. The frequency is higher, but and it's not a direct poison and hit. Okay, so understand, and everybody get this, and you go do your own research, but just know this. The tobacco industry owns every large food corporation in the world. And anytime that somebody comes and does something really beautiful, like some family creates a business, and they do something really beautiful, it'll always get bought up by what? A corporation, all right? I will never be bought up by a corporation, and we are opening up a university called School of Higher Learning, and it looks like we might have another 100 higher learning schools come on my new platform called Touched. And understand something, we will never get bought up by anyone. We are out here to shake it up, baby. We are out here to not try to change any system, because the systems out there weren't built to work. They're not broken. They were built this way. Oh my God, the system is broken. We have to change it. The government, the medical system, okay, now food corporations, they're not broken. They're built this way. You've got to take your power back. Okay. We make cookies. He loves sweet Greek yogurt. Yeah, guess what? Sweet Greek yogurt. Oh, guess what? Guess what? If you eat Greek yogurt, it's going to be so much better than all the other yogurts, because it's made by the Greeks. Are you like out of your skull? Greek yogurt is the same as every other yogurt. It's got dead bacteria in it, cow's bacteria for cows. It's pasteurized, okay? And guess what? It's the molecules 20 times larger than mother's milk. And guess what? He's addicted to it. The more concentrated that cow's milk is, the more addiction you have, because the more casein that's in it that triggers you like a drug. That's what happened with MD Perricone nutraceuticals, sold out and changed the ingredients to synthetic ingredients. Yeah, I was talking to a lady today, and this lady here has myeloma. Okay, so she was diagnosed that she has myeloma. So they wanted to do chemo and radiation. So they did they went to do the radiation and chemo on her. Okay, and then, but at the same time that she went to do that, just before she did that, she got tested. Okay, but with a frequency device, biofeedback device, that showed one thing. Do you know how many people are being diagnosed with cancer when they just have a parasite problem? Understand something. It's the parasite problem that shows, because you have to understand, does anybody know what cancer is? Cancer is just stage 4 inflammation. So, you know, when I say cancer, you think it's the end of the world, right? Death sentence. When I say stage 4 inflammation, it feels like maybe I could turn that around, because, you know, you have to create infection on an emotional and physical level before you have an inflammation. And then when you have too much inflammation, then guess what? Just like this little boy here, this 15-year-old that has a heart murmur because he doesn't have enough oxygen, Natalie, not enough oxygen, and he doesn't have enough nutrition, and he has way too much flour products and too much dairy products and sugar going into his diet, okay? We make cookies. He loves sweet Greek yogurt. So the reality is he's getting that every day, and it's inflaming him. So you need to stop making it, and you need to stop bringing it in the house. Oh, wait a minute, but now you're going to have to talk to your husband that also loves it, and he'll be damned if that leaves the house. Okay, all right. Anybody else have a question? Please send it in. The phone number is 469-714-8689. I'll say it again. No husband. Okay, well, guess what? Watch how sweet you are to your kids, because if you're too sweet to your kids, they're going to pay, Natalie, and you better get that. And the reality is get your boy on daily cleansing tea and black gold. So daily cleansing tea, get him to start off with 4 ounces of daily cleansing tea morning and night. Natalie, you take 1 bag of daily cleansing tea, you boil a gallon of water. When it comes to a boil, turn the burner off, put the tea bag in, put the lid on, let it sit for 8 hours. There's no stimulants, there's no a laxative in it. And if he were to do 4 ounces morning and night, and he were to do a level teaspoon of black gold in a blender drink made out of berries and oat milk, not milk, but oat milk or coconut milk, and that's what you should be doing, Natalie. Try to change to coconut yogurt, okay? And see if that bothers him. It probably won't. Anyways, and then get him to do that 2 blender drinks a day, okay, made out of berries, and you could throw a raw egg in each of them. Watch how he says, oh, I feel like I'm so strong, right? Here we go. Let me see here, guys. I'm going to move this over. Cow's milk. Here we go. I'm going to go to Facebook here, guys, and see what's going on, okay? I don't believe you. Well, that's good. I wouldn't believe me either. If you're going to see something for the first time, I wouldn't believe me either. But just know this. I wrote an article called Scary Dairy. I was actually being sued for $250,000 by the Dairy Board, and they never got a penny from me. Okay, so there's that one. And why would you believe me? And guess what? Bobbity. So soon as somebody says something and you go, I don't believe you right away, that means you're being run by your subconscious because you didn't go and do your homework, okay? All right. Stop sharing then. Stop sharing then. Now Bobbity is telling me I should stop sharing. Well, I'm not sharing, I'm caring. And the reality is if people follow what I'm saying, they are actually going to see the difference and feel the difference, okay? Dr. Wolfe, Tina, can you help me to find your expertise in the UK? I don't know, love. I don't know anybody. It's all good. I never used to either until I dove right in and found out he was right all along. Not everyone is on the probably same page. We'll see. Not everyone. It's not for everyone, but it's sure for me. That's right. You got to understand something. Do you actually think that I'm going to come on here and sound like 80% of the population, or even up to 95% of the population? You have to understand something, and I need you to get this. Welcome, everyone. Everybody's welcome, but I'm here for the people that are awake already and say that I want more. I know that I deserve more. Health, wealth, happiness, love, everything. This is my world. I'm taking it back. I'm going to become responsible for everything about my life. And those are the people I'm here to work with. So, you know, it's very hard for me to be able to cut everybody out. But the reality is I'm here for the people that say, I'm awake, okay, and I want to expand, okay? All right. Grant Fury, you're the best. You are too, Grant. Thank you. I appreciate you, man. Let me see here. Cow's milk, good for cows. Very high in estrogen as cows become adults in 2 years. Absolutely. Maria, my 14-year-old has high functioning autism, ADHD. Well, there is no ADHD. I will tell you that if he's high functioning autism, go take a look at his bowels again. Isn't that something? This guy doesn't know anything. Yeah, go take a look at his bowels, because it's called gut-brain connection, everyone. Especially with the autistic, okay, or on the spectrum. Go take a look at the sugar. Go take a look at the dairy. Go take a look at the flour products. You got to understand something. Everything is about vibration. What we eat, drink, and think leaves a vibration behind on it. So how high vibrational, Maria, are you working with your 14-year-old? Now, understand, get your 14-year-old on the daily cleansing tea and the black gold again. He's on stabilizers. Get your 14-year-old on Ocean Essentials, all right? Because your 14-year-old needs essential fatty acids. Take a look at Sinonian Minerals. There's 150 different nutrients. It's all organic, and you can open any of my products up to put in there. And just know this, everyone. What repairs the mind better than anything else? Well, ionic calcium therapy. It's called Merigen. The other thing is black diamond. It's a humic fulvic that crosses the blood-brain barrier to suck up heavy metals, to suck up fungus, and to actually drop 70 micronutrients into the brain, into the blood. And the other thing is this, is C60. How many people know that C60, MCT oil C60 and hemp oil C60 are 250 to 300 times more powerful than vitamin C, okay? And the reality is it can go in and rewrite brain damage. It'll actually create new neurons and synapses right above the damage. You know what? I'm going to tell you something. The more chronic the symptoms are with a human being, the more they go to a medical doctor, the more trouble they get into. The more chronic the symptoms are with your children, because you don't know how or what health really is and how to have a healthy child. You were never taught, so how would you know? The more chronic the symptoms are with your kids, the more drugs are on, and the more risky things you will do with them. Yes or no? Tell me I'm wrong. Okay. I thought we were supposed to have 8 ounces of tea at night. Joyce, that's the daily cleansing tea, everyone. Joyce, this is a boy. Okay, he's 80 pounds. I don't want him taking more than 4 ounces twice a day. The daily cleansing tea goes in and detoxifies the skin, the kidneys, the liver, the lymph, the blood, and the colon. And that's all an 80-pound child would have. An adult would have 8 ounces of tea morning and night. But then again, with the daily cleansing tea, it's not a laxative. You know, if people were to take my daily cleansing tea twice a day, along with a teaspoon of black gold twice a day in a blender drink, you would, okay, first of all, 80 to 85% of all your symptoms would leave just by doing that. Okay? And remember, my phone number is 469-861-8884. If you don't believe me, try it out and then call me and tell me how you're doing. Or if you need further instructions, you can call my office or call my number. I'm going to call you back. Look, it'd be one thing if I was a naturopathic doctor that didn't give his phone number out or didn't give a money-back guarantee on his consultations and his treatments. So understand, I'm not running, I'm not hiding, okay? What do you think of almond milk? Okay, but the problem is with the almond milk, they're messing around with it at big time. With coconut milk, you're better to go with, okay? Or if you can get almond milk that says organic almond milk. You hear me? Organic almond milk. That's what you're going to look for. That's why our baby girls mature so quickly. Listen, just know this, everyone. So just know this. The people that are saying that I don't know what I'm talking about, just know this. Anybody that eats any animal products that aren't certified organic, just know that you are taking more antibiotics in than you would take. Okay, you know how somebody takes a round of antibiotics? Well, guess what? You take about the same amount of antibiotics in every month as if you did a round of antibiotics, and you spread them out every day when you're eating animal products and dairy products. Are you with me yet? Okay, tell me I'm wrong again. Okay, we're having fun here today, aren't we? What's your advice on anxiety? Well, here's the deal. Remember what we were talking about? Do you recommend vegetarian nuts and legumes, no meat? Okay, I'm not telling you not to eat meat, guys. I'm telling you that you need to have a lot of whole plant-based live foods coming in. So I'm not telling you not to eat meat. And then if you're going to eat meat, don't eat such a big chunk. And if you're going to eat meat, combine it properly, that you don't combine your meat with starch foods. Like, believe it or not, anybody take a look at the Meat and Potato Man lately? His stomach sticks way out, that it looks like he's got a balloon that he swallowed, and if you put a pin in there, he's going to fly all over the room. He's so full of gas because he's rotting inside. Are you with me on this one? Or his intestines, his large intestine is falling out, and you can't find where his zipper is because his intestines are falling down so much and out. Are you with me yet? Okay. What's your advice on anxiety? Well, first of all, remember something. If you don't own your own imagination, and your imagination is owned by the news, the media, your friends, your family, and all the other BS that's going around, then guess what? You're going to have anxiety. Remember, anxiety is just made of the images and the thoughts that you have. It's nothing else. So if you were to say, I'm going to use my imagination to only think about what I want, and I'm going to get a whole bunch of really great images that are going to create good ideas, great ideas, and images are going to create thoughts. So I'm going to get a whole bunch of great images to create a whole bunch of great thoughts, to create a great idea, and then I'm going to spend my time, I'm going to be selfish enough to actually live my passion and purpose. I'm going to be selfish enough to look after myself, to get the exercise I need, to not eat, but to nourish my body. I'm going to learn how to do all of this. Now, anxiety, Helen, all you got to do is do this for me. Put a slight smile on your face when you have anxiety. And then I want you to breathe in 6 seconds and out 7 seconds, okay? And I guarantee you, if you just do those two things, you won't be able to be anxious. But guess what, Helen? If you're asking the question, you're addicted to anxiety. Why? Because we're all addicted to drugs. No. Yes, you are, Helen. You're addicted to adrenaline, okay? And that makes you high. Now, what am I addicted to? Dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins, which is dose. And how do I do that? Well, it's called loving myself, caring for myself, not taking it personal when people come on here and tell me blah, 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 and just understand that it's just a difference of opinion, okay? And not needing approval from people, that I'm going to love and care for myself, and whatever time that takes, I'm going to do it. Because if I can't love and care for myself, how can I do it for my family? And the reality is I'm in the health business, and if I don't sound healthy, look healthy, why would anybody want to come to me? And for God's sakes, I want the world to know that it can be healthy. But understand, Helen, here's your gift. Go into my library, and I bet you can't do it, Helen. Go into my library at docofdetox.com. And go click on Braveheart Online Emotional Intelligence Masterclass. It'll take you 33 days to do it. And guess what? If you do that, you're going to go, oh my God, he has changed me more than anything else. And guess what? He was right. It was the image I have that creates the thought, that creates the emotion, that caused what? The anxiety. Now I change my image, which changed my thought, which now gives me a higher emotion of happiness, and holy crap, here I am. Hallelujah. Yes, I don't take your haters serious. Keep spreading your knowledge. Thank you, Beverly. I want more. Tiffany, myself, I learned to live in the moment. The past is depression. No. The past is not depression. The past was actually a practice run. You know, we come down here and everybody goes, why didn't you get it right? You're such a failure, you're such a sinner. Well, I don't believe in any of those things. But the reality is this, I have to repeat something 10,000 times before I'm a master at it. And then as soon as I become really good at something, I go, hey, I'm going to go find something else to screw up 10,000 times. So the reality is, if you believe that you don't have any, well, if you believe that you don't deserve to mess up 10,000 times to perfect something, you're in trouble. And remember something, do you know why there's so many patients for the medical system? Because nobody has patience for themselves. And they don't have patience for you either. What if we were to have total patience for you? You get a consult with us, you've got lifetime calling with us. That's right, you could call 5-10 times a day. $150, get a consultation with us. We're going to create a perfect day, put it on audio for you, and I'm going to give you my perfect day guide. It's almost 400 pages. It's the best written book on massive take action if you want to become your authentic self, okay, on a nutritional and physical level. Go to our consultations at the talk of docofdetox.com. Joyce, I have a ventral hernia, and I get out of breath periodically, practicing doing nothing. Okay, so understand, guys, you want to know something? Oh, I'd love somebody to come on and challenge me with this one. All hernias are caused because the peritoneal lining is actually rotting out because you're pooping in your pelvis. Okay, so from so much infection, okay, from so much infection emotionally and physically, you're causing inflammation. Inflammation breaks down tissue and it can cause mutation. How many people know that wherever the disease is in the body, the tissues are actually rotting? Yeah, you heard what I said, they're rotting. Where do you think cysts come from? Okay, where do you think cysts come from? Well, they're pus packets, okay? And that's from tissue rotting. What do we eat every day? Well, what do you eat every day? Well, why don't you just go into my, I can't do this, love, but if you go into my website, docofdetox.com, go to the library, and then click on the 4 pillars of the perfect day. And go take a look at exercise, energy medicine, nutraceuticals, and go take a look at diet. That'll get you started, okay? And then what you need to do is go again, and why don't you do this? It'll wake you up. Do you have a book? Yes, it's called Healthy to 100, and you can get the free PDF in my library at docofdetox.com, or you can buy it for $15. But remember something, you get the perfect day manual, which is 400 pages, which is the most powerful take action book on an emotional and physical level you'll ever buy. And guess what? You didn't buy it. You paid $150 to have a lifetime of support and guidance, and you got an hour consultation where we went through from the moment you rise until you close your eyes on how to get your life back. Listen, if you don't believe that I care for you, then you don't understand this, that if we don't learn to love each other, it's over. It's all over. I eat nothing with a face or blood. That's fine, but understand this. Vegetarians are not healthy. Whole plant-based eaters are healthy. I would rather see somebody eat a little bit of organic animal products, okay, than somebody be a vegetarian. Vegetarians will have fake meat, fake cheese, crackers, peanut butter. Oh my God. When I was a vegetarian, when I was younger, I was exhausted. I was anemic. So, you know, you've got to get into a lot of whole plant-based foods. I'm talking about, I juice every day. Some days I'll drink 2 quarts of juice of vegetable juice. You know, I'll do at least 1 large salad, sometimes 2 a day. I'll do 2 large blender drinks, okay, with maybe a raw egg in there, some black gold, a teaspoon of black gold, and I'll blend that up, okay? So I do a lot of other things, but yeah. What do you do for hemorrhoids? Well, listen to me. Hemorrhoids, okay, are because you can't let go on a physical or on an emotional level. I can't let go. I can't let go. Anybody who says, I can't let go of that, I won't let go of that, what you did to me, I'm not letting go. That person is actually going to have hemorrhoids. And understand something. Let me see here. I want to just, where was that? Oh, Lori, let me just say this, Lori. So, Lori, you may not notice it, but when you go to the bathroom, Lori, you go like this. Come on, get out of there. Get out of there. Now, Lori, listen to me. You may not believe it, and you're going to say to me, that's not true, Dr. Wolfe, but you don't drink enough water. If you were to get one of our structure units, it never wears down. I mean, it never breaks down, never wears out, takes no batteries. You can put it under any tap in the world. You never have to have a filter. I'm telling you, I put my structure unit, which has no filter, never breaks down, because the invisible is more powerful than the physical. If you don't believe me, go in and take a look at the structured water in my library, but go take a look at the structured water units for your home, shower, or just portable. Tomorrow, I'll tell you what. Tomorrow morning I'll get up early, I'll go for my swim, and then I'll show you that we structure our pool that we're here, and it's got chlorine in it, but if I structure the pool for only 2 minutes, the whole pool is structured, and the chlorine cannot touch me, cannot bother me, and that's real science. So if you were to drink, Lori, Lori, if you were to drink 3 quarts of warm to hot water, and it's structured, okay, and you would just do that, now you're drinking enough water. Understand something. If you've got hemorrhoids, it means you're dehydrated. If you've got hemorrhoids, Lori, there's something you're not letting go of on an emotional level. And understand something. Do you know how many people will not drink 3/4 of an ounce to every pound? You know what? With blue light poisoning, 5G poisoning, with all the toxins and chemicals that they're hiding in the foods, because the tobacco industry owns the food corporations, and they want to kill you. But they don't want to kill you fast. They want to kill you slow, because all the money that you worked your butt off for, they want to steal it all back, because that's what makes them feel powerful. These guys get off on this. You ever see the movie Monsters, Inc.? Well, that was a true story, you know, where they go in and they scare kids, and that the energy from scaring the kids would actually create the electricity and run the lights and all the power in the world. Well, guess what? These psychos live off of your suffering, your anxiety, okay? And they're going to continue forever. Well, really, think about this, guys. This is something. So we got about 150,000 of them, and we've got like 8 billion of us. But they actually pulled our pants down and put a diaper on our face for 3 years almost. Seriously. I wouldn't call us the most intelligent people in the universe, would you? Anyways, if you want to get rid of your hemorrhoids, sweetheart, you can get a CBD suppository out of Canada. We sell them, and you put that up there, and you'll do some homework. Go do research on docofdetox.com. But if you want to nail this thing, take daily cleansing tea. Start off with 4 ounces twice a day and work your way up to 8 ounces twice a day. And you want to go to the bathroom, 2 to 3 bowel movements where it comes out smooth and not mushy, but just, you can tell it's really moisture. There's a lot of moisture in the stool. Because if you take a look at you and your stool, Lori, it comes out hard and it comes out with cracks because it's cracking up. You should be getting wrinkles. You should be getting inflammation. You should be getting scar tissue formation. You're going to have a lot of problems. Remember something, your large intestine is 85% of your immune system. And it's also the compost of your body that makes the good bacteria. And you have 50 trillion cells, 500 trillion bacteria. And your bacteria are the smartest part of you. And they talk 9 times to your brain, where your brain only talks 1 time back to your body. So your bacteria are so smart. And this is how smart we are, allowing those psychos to make us squirt bacterial soap on us so it'll go in and kill our bacteria. Time to wake up, I guess, eh, guys? What do you think? Absolutely, blood-brain barrier. Sleep deprivation will be death of me. Please help. Well, sleep deprivation, I can guarantee you, you don't drink warm water to hot water and 3 quarts a day. Women need to do 1.5 quarts before lunch. I get it. If you did like a 1/2 quart of carrot juice or vegetable juice, then it would be just 1 quart of hot water. But I will tell you that every woman, every man, needs to do a quart of hot water first thing when they wake up in the morning. You could do 16 ounces, but if you do a quart of hot water, you're going to have a beautiful bowel movement. You're going to feel so much more relaxed because cold water constricts, and we live in a constricted society. So understand that. So take a quart and a half. Women need to do 3 quarts. That's if you are the right weight. But most women, a lot of women weigh more than I do, so you got to drink like a man. So you need 4 quarts of water a day. Don't go with this other thing they're talking. So 4 quarts of water, make it structured. Structured water hydrates 1,000% better into the cells than any other water. I'll give you a 90-day money-back guarantee on any structure unit. Did you hear what I just said? Okay. Now, what else I want to say? Oh yeah, you could run your wine through it. You can run any other liquid through it. And even if there's toxin in there, it will neutralize any toxins, heavy metals, viruses, bacteria, or any other chemicals will be neutralized, and then you can drink. If you don't believe me, you need to do your homework, okay? That's science. When are you coming to the UK? I was going to come to the UK, but I'm not going to. Do you know why I can't come? I just said it earlier. Okay. Up until, again, this is what happens. A tsunami comes in. The big devastation is going to be a couple of years after. It is, yes, because you have to rebuild. So understand, the COVID came in, and we had that for almost 3 years, and people are so terrified, they don't know how to live anymore. We are actually getting only about half the signups that we got up until just 4 months ago. The Ukraine war, the COVID thing, there'll be another real killer virus coming for us at the end of this coming summer, because we won't be falling for the war anymore. So they'll have to bring out a new thing. Can't wait. I'm so excited. I've been bored. Oh my God. So the reality is this, people are hesitant. They're hesitant. The thing is this, they say there's a depression coming. Well, guess what? If you buy into there's a depression coming, it'll make you depressed. Next thing is that they can bring on a depression. I won't be depressed emotionally, physically, or financially, okay? Because I'm not a large consumer of anything. I like my shirts. You see when I come on here, that's part of my thing. And but the reality is this: when you go inside, you'll get an understanding that outside is not what it's all about. It's not. Live for you. Don't live for anyone else. I guarantee that if you live for you and no one else, that you will teach your family how to become strong. And I didn't say selfish. I said live for you. You know what? Let me just say this. You can't even hardly tell me anybody that's not at home sick, okay, or sick that doesn't have some kind of, I haven't got any symptoms. I'm almost 67. That's such BS. You don't have to have a disease, and there are no diseases. There are just symptoms of you going to the wrong practitioner. I'll give you a money-back guarantee. How's that? And you're going to go, yeah, well, he'll do anything for money. Well, then guess what? I'm giving you a money-back guarantee. So at the end of it, even if I help you, just ask for your money back. But the problem is people can't do that because they're so blown away at the work we do. And that's the God's truth. Let's see here. The perfect day is the way to go. That's right. If anybody wants to know, you can get a perfect day consult. Go to my website, docofdetox.com. Click on consultations, $150. If you don't want to spend 150, because most people aren't worth 150 bucks, and I don't mean it in a bad way. I just mean that you have been taught to disrespect, dishonor yourself, and you can't disrespect and dishonor yourself without dishonoring and disrespecting everyone else either. So just know that. So go to my library and click on the 4 pillars of the perfect day. Just know this. My library is the largest self-love, self-care library, and you will learn more in my library than going to naturopathic school. Did you hear what I just said? You'll learn more in my library than being a medical doctor, because medical doctors only get 20 minutes. They don't know nothing about health. Just remember that. So when you go to a doctor from now on, don't be delusional. Okay, yes, don't take, okay. What about hemorrhoids during pregnancy? Well, guess what? You want to know something? We are just finishing off, and we'll have it done in the next 8 weeks. The perfect pain-free pregnancy, where people will be coming to us for 12 days, And we have a course that starts 1 year prior to getting pregnant, but we have people coming to us already where they already have children or they're pregnant already, and they come to us for this course. Now, the reality is this. Listen, sweetheart, you were already constipated before you were pregnant. And then when you did get pregnant, now I didn't, remember something. I'm not telling you I know everything. I don't even have your name. So, well, it's Julia, but there you go. Did you stop the dairy, Julia? It causes constipation. It causes inflammation. Did you stop the bread, Julia? Did you do coconut milk instead of cow's milk? Okay. Did you do coconut yogurt instead of Greek yogurt, which is very constipating and inflammatory to your baby? Did you stop eating so much animal products? I want to ask everybody, how many dead animals do you have to eat to become alive? Okay. And are you food combining properly? Are you doing Julia, are you doing 2 blender drinks? Okay. Of berries every day? Okay. Are you doing that? And then you could crack a raw egg in there. You won't even taste it. You won't even know it's in there. It'll make it thicker. It'll make it more beautiful. Are you having 2 large salads a day? And then in those large salads, you could put some beans. Or are you having a half avocado as well? And Julia, just one question. I guarantee you're not drinking more than a quart of water a day. If you're drinking 3 quarts of hot water and it came through a structure unit, which is 1,000% more hydratable, you wouldn't have hemorrhoids. You only have hemorrhoids because you're blowing out your anus because your poop is so dehydrated and dry, it can't get around there. And remember something, if there's not loving in the oven, Julia, that baby's going to have a hard time. And understand, a lot of people go, oh my God, did you hear about Emily's baby where the cord was wrapped around its neck? Well, that baby was trying to commit suicide because the parents fight too much. Okay, did you ever hear about Janet's baby and it had its feet on either side of the vagina and it wouldn't come out? That's right, it was scared to come out. Okay, and let me tell you something right now. Remember where that baby is, right in the middle of your large intestine. So it's either your large intestine is a compost, making great bacteria and the poop's moving through like it should. But if you've got hemorrhoids, that means that you're pooping in your pelvis, which means that your baby has to deal with you pooping into your abdomen. So your baby is now in the middle of a dump. Okay, so now what we do is we create our own little manure pile in there, and that creates gas, and those gases go into your tissues. Now that's issues in your tissues, and guess what? That gets into the baby. And understand something, I know more about babies than most doctors that are supposed to be looking after babies. So understand that. And the reality is this, you need to do 3 quarts of warm to hot water, and the reality is this, give yourself a warm water enema, a warm water, if you had a structure unit, structured water, and then you would put a tablespoon of tummy love in there and go in there and then get that waste out. Because guess what? Your bowel comes from your cecum all the way up around your ribs and down. The baby's right in the middle, right? The baby's in the middle. What is the baby in the middle of? Okay, I did say that your bowel is 85% of your immune system, except when it becomes a swamp. What comes first? The mosquito or the swamp? The swamp, then the mosquito. Now we're going to find little things wrong with the baby, find things wrong with you. Are you with me yet? If you want to call me tomorrow, I'll be starting a course. I will take your call, Julia, and you can call me at 469-861-8884, and then we will talk about this. And just know, sweetheart, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. Good luck finding this information. You have to come to somebody like me that stirs the you-know-what up, right? I got to stir it up out there, right? Okay, guys, if things were so good and in the medical system and also in the natural health care system, then why is 86 to 92% of the population have an autoimmune disease? And why is everybody in pain and inflamed and stiff? Nobody who comes to me and buys into my BS, my belief systems, is in pain or stiff after 6 weeks to 3 months, no matter what their condition is. So please, you can put that in your pipe and smoke it. So remember, when you come out and speak, you should be intelligent, not ignorant. And the problem is, today, the majority of the population is ignorant when it comes to nourishing their body, detoxifying their body, knowing how to love themselves and care for themselves, and it's not their fault. But it still is your responsibility. It still is your responsibility, guys. Okay? Let me tell you something. They don't care about you out there. Just get it. Just get it. Okay? How much is your structured water device? Is there water in fresh vegetables? Okay, there's structured water in fresh vegetables and fruit. Yes, that's why it's so good for you. Now, how much is my structured water unit? Guys, when I tell you this, I don't remember. I don't know. I think it's 300 and something. But the thing lasts forever. And then you can return it in 90 days if you don't like it. But there's one for the house. There's one for the pool. There's one for the garden. There's one for your shower. Or just get one for the house and it'll do it all, right? I can't remember the name of your product that can be used for sunscreen. C60 coconut oil is the best protector in the sun more than anything else. C60 is 250 times to 300 times stronger than vitamin C. I didn't say 250%. I said 300 times stronger than vitamin C. It'll also, guess what it'll do? It'll repair the brain. It'll repair anything in the body. Does everybody know that C60 is the highest vibrational molecule in the world? Does everybody else know that 95% of all C60 comes out of China? You better watch yourself. Does everybody else know that my MCT C60, which is coconut oil C60, it has a purple color, and there's a company called Purple Power, and they add palm oil to try to pretend that they are us. How cool is that? I don't mind. Go ahead and challenge me. Everybody challenge me to see if I'm lying about my products. My products have the highest frequency and are the purest products you'll find on the planet. And if you can find something better, I'll drop mine and go to that. Okay, this is not arrogance. I got in the health business when I was 17 years old. When my grandfather died of bowel cancer, I opened up the North American Institute for the Advancement of Colon Therapy when I was 26 years old. So understand, my manual was used by the United States Senate for the study of colon cancer when I was 32. I'm not bragging, I'm just trying to tell you that I've done some homework, okay? 1 second. I'm just checking you out here. Thank you. Been falling into the carbs towards the end of my pregnancy. The carbs, Julia, are going to bind you up. So just so you know, refined carbs are the twin to sugar. They're the twin to sugar products. So refined carbs will kill us all. But, you know, like whole grains, like yams, no, you can't do too much of that. Don't worry about that. And make sure it's a whole grain. Like it's a rice that has the hull on it still. We need the fiber, okay? But remember, it's the hot water, sweetheart. Best $300 I've spent, structured water unit. Thank you, Blair. There it is. It's $300, everyone. C60, MCT oil C60 is the best sunscreen. And if you go out and you ever burn yourself, well, first of all, do you know why you burn yourself? Do you want to know why you burn yourself? Oh, you're not going to believe me. This is going to get some people going. You actually end up burning yourself, okay, because you have a bit of a self-loathing, self-hate program. Because why would you pretend that you're bacon? Seriously? Okay, so when you start to get a little bit pink, you're out of the sun. If you get burnt, just know this, that if you use our silver bullet gel, okay, and you rub the silver bullet gel on there every 15 minutes where the burn is, the burn will be gone within about 2 to 3 hours. Okay, so understand that. All right. Okay, let's see if we got anything else here. Have you tried to listen to chakra healing music at bedtime? No, I don't have any. Oh, for the lady maybe. I don't have any trouble sleeping. Do you know why? Because I don't make myself guilty over anything. So I don't judge myself and I don't judge anybody in the world anymore or anything. Even the most toxic people, even the most toxic system, I don't talk about it, I don't judge it. Don't focus on those things that bring you down, baby. Focus on the things that bring you up. And that's it. Mind your own business. Mind your own business. And guess what? I do not need to do anything when I go to sleep. I will do belly button therapy. Okay, go check that out, everyone. Belly button therapy will release more dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, endorphins than anything else anything else on the planet, and it doesn't cost anything except to buy the little belly button therapy kit. Go check that out in Body Care on my website. And then I connect to my breath, lion heart breathing, 6 seconds in, 7 seconds out. But guess what I do every second night is I clap my neck, my face, and my head. We have a clapper. Go take a look at it on my website, and I'll clap for an hour to an hour and a half. You think I'm crazy? Well, guess what? No tension in this guy. Okay? And the reality is this: you got to get to a point in your life that you don't need any approval. You don't take things personal, and you don't really care what people think about you. But what you do is you observe and you learn about yourself and grow. You don't judge yourself and burn. And that's the deal. Listen, if you ever think that you are going to have me suffering or feeling bad because you hate me, dislike me, that's not going to happen. Okay? So you can take your personality, okay, and use it on someone that isn't awake. And that's what we do. Haters hate people. Okay? Depressed people depress people. Happy people make people happy. Do you ever notice that? So I'm not going to be offended by someone hating me. Why does belly button therapy hurt my daughter in certain places? Because your daughter is constipated. Your daughter is constipated. Your daughter has, now, I don't mean she doesn't go to the bathroom. I mean that the waste takes too long for it to come out. So the waste sits there, and as the waste sits there, it causes infection. Yes or no? The infection causes inflammation. So there's inflammation in her intestine. And understand something. How old's your daughter? And I guarantee your daughter, if you don't get on top of this, is going to have painful periods. Because painful periods are caused because of too much infection in the lower abdomen and in the pelvis. And when the blood comes to deliver the egg out for the period, it's getting rid of the worst infection throughout the body. If there's a lot of infection already in the pelvis, then guess what? There's no room, and more infection, more inflammation. So then you get these spasms. So you get her bowels moving, or you're going to have cysts on the ovaries. You're going to have bladder infection. You're going to have endometriosis. You can get fibroids. You can have candidiasis of the vagina and a lot of other things happening. So understand, there's not a girl out there that doesn't have a painful period that's not constipated. And I mean, that doesn't mean not going to the washroom. That means that everything that should have came out didn't come out. That's it. And that's the truth. All right? Okay, let me see here. I have a hard one for you. A girl charmed me so much, I lost it. I woke up for 1 month at 5 a.m. I don't know what that's about, guys. Seriously. Sleep depression will be the death of me. Well, guess what? The reality is that we know you're the type of person that goes to bed going, what did I do wrong? What could I have done better? You look at things way too wrong. You're fearful of the next day, okay? And all day long, you didn't hydrate properly. You didn't feed yourself properly. And I guarantee you, get a perfect day consult and then tell me I'm wrong 6 weeks later that you're not sleeping. That won't be true. Understand something right now, okay? It's what you think. It's what you think. It's what you drink. It's what you eat. And everybody's mistreating themselves, and you don't even know it, because guess what? You're telling me that you have a better diet than everybody else, and guess what? Everybody else, 95% of the population is poisoning itself 24/7. My God, think about this. Every time we celebrate, what do? We poison ourselves. Every time your kids are great, you say, if you're good, mommy will give you a treat, and then you poison the kids. My God, we are so programmed to off ourselves and each other. Tiffany, this man has talked to me and I have never spent a dime with him. He has spoke with me over the phone on occasions. That's right. Listen, you know what? We're going to do it. We're going to try to be here for each other as much as we possibly can. Okay? When my father was a diabetic, in diabetic coma, he responded to every messenger message. Okay, all right. Just know this, that there is no such thing as diabetic coma. There's such thing as the body shutting down because it is not getting what it needs. Okay? So understand, every disease name has only one benefit to me. Okay? toe fungus or eczema or psoriasis. It tells me where the symptom is. There are no diseases all the way to cancer. Cancer is not a disease. It's stage 4 inflammation, but you can call it a disease if you want. And understand something. There are just symptoms of your body talking to you saying, can you just love me a little bit? But wouldn't want to do that, would we? We wouldn't really want to, unless you're willing to change your personality, you'll never change your reality. So buckle up, and maybe it's great that there are medical doctors so they can drug you so that you can numb yourself out. What would you take for repairing stomach lining? What wouldn't I take? So the first thing I would do if I had a stomach lining that was in trouble, okay, you ready for this? Oh, she's going to go, are you like crazy? Well, give me a call tomorrow. I'll be doing a class during the day, but we'll talk. Just call me, 469-861-8884. But here's the deal. You ever hear of therapeutic vomiting? Do you know how much BS we swallow? Do you know how much stuff? You make me sick to my stomach. I can't swallow that. I can't digest that. You know, there's a lot of times that people are throwing up, and it's not because they had food poisoning. They had rude poisoning. They had word poisoning. They had thought poisoning. Whether you believe this or not, a lot of my natural health practitioners have done therapeutic vomiting, where you actually get 3 large glasses, about 16 ounces of warm to hot water, and structured if possible. And what you do is you want to make sure you're on an emptier stomach. Then what you do is you make the bathroom floor comfortable so that you can kneel down. Pull up the toilet seat. Put your hair back if it's going to hang in your face. Then what you're going to do is you're going to make sure it's quiet, okay? Dim the light, maybe just have some candlelight there, only because you don't want the bright lights, because usually bathrooms are pretty bright. And then what you want to do is you want to start drinking the water, and then you want to go underneath on the left side of your ribs underneath and jiggle, and then if it feels like your tummy is about 60%, your stomach is about 60% full of water, you're going to stop. And then you're just going to use a vibrator. If you have a hand vibrate the stomach, or you're just going to wiggle it, and just keep doing it and keep doing it. And understand, if you feel nauseous, or just slow down a little bit, because you want to have it for about 5 to 10 minutes if you can. And then you're going to start to feel nauseous. Let it soak in there and just really wash the stomach. And let me tell you something. Whether you believe this, that 16 ounces of water will bring out not just mucus, not just acid. It will bring out the issues that you've swallowed, emotional issues, and that just tie you up in knots. Understand, you don't have to believe me, but I have people that have so much pain throughout their body, migraine headaches, sinus problems, okay, they just feel nauseous all the time, or they just broke up with their girlfriend, or something happened to their children, and they just can't take it, and they'll do the therapeutic vomiting. And once you do that, you're going to see what you do is you take 2 to 3 fingers, put them in the back of your throat, and then guess what? Do not pull them out. The water and everything will come up. Just let it come up. It's going to feel very relieving. Nobody likes to do nobody likes to do vomiting like when you've eaten food and you're so acidic, because all that acid burns your throat, and it can get into your lungs and hurt your heart. You don't want that. That's really bad. But when you do it the way I just said, you're going to save your life. You will reduce inflammation. You can reduce some of the worst diseases in your body by therapeutic vomiting. Remember, the stomach is the front door and the large intestine is the back door. If I can bring up the vibration and cleanse and purge my stomach and my large intestine, I'm going to be a lot healthier. And remember something, when you do that, your hydrochloric acid, which digests your food, will become stronger once you've purged these toxins out emotionally and physically. And guess what? That's really important, because your stomach is the guard dog against parasites and mold and bad bacteria and things of that nature. And the hydrochloric acid is able to actually break that down and neutralize that stuff, as long as you don't have too many issues in those tissues. So you don't have to do that to help repair your stomach lining, love. But Helen, listen, if you want to repair your stomach lining, then get on the perfect day diet. Get on C60, get on Black Diamond, get on daily cleansing tea, okay? Whether you believe it or not, a person's appetite will leave and will not come back when their bowels are blocked at the back door. Understand, there is not a symptom or a disease that you could tell me that we don't have an answer for. And I'm not trying to tell you I'm intelligent. I'm trying to tell you I'm logical. Okay? Logic is what we need. I'm a critical thinker. And critical thinkers stay in the present moment and own it and stay logical. Okay? Kiefer, I don't know what you want me to respond to, my friend. You might want to text me. Let me see if I've got anything here. Okay. Oh well. Okay. So remember the boy that had the sinus problems and the heart murmur. Well, she's going that his nose is clear deviated. So she's saying that he has a deviated septum in his nose, and I'm going to tell you that 95% of the time that people say you have a deviated septum and you got to have surgery, I call BS. I call BS. If there's anybody in Stuart, Florida wants to call me up, we'll go on live and I'll work on your deviated septum. I won't work on it for more than 10 minutes, and I promise you won't have a deviated septum. Understand, the deviation is caused by the thickening of the scar tissue from the inflammation from having inflammatory foods that actually inflame your sinuses. End of story. My 11-year-old has ADHD, difficult staying focused, uses cell phones. Well, actually, you let her use cell phones. And if a child's going to be on a cell phone a lot, if that's the babysitter for her, you better get her a pair of child Tesla glasses. These are Teslas. Don't get her blue blockers. They don't work. That's another BS story. You get her Tesla eyewear, which has C60 molecule in the lens, and it'll take all blue light, all 5G, all frequencies, turn it into healing light. It'll calm your daughter down. Okay, one of the biggest causes for ADHD is blue light poisoning from the TV, from the computer, from the phone, from the LED lighting, from the movie. Are we done yet? Blue light poisoning is way worse than 5G because I want to show you something. Okay, so look at that. There's only 2 bars here of the 5G. I'm going to take all my phones off of 5G, and then I'll have a stronger telephone signal on 4G. The 5G, the reason why, did anybody notice in the last 6 months your phones don't have very good signal? Because guess what? As soon as 5G hits a tree or hits a post or comes in front of a human being, it doesn't work. 4G can go for miles and miles. 5G, there is going to be a 5G box on every block, and then anybody that got this, the V, okay, is really going to start to see them become active, because that frequency activates the nanos, okay, and then you're going to see all hell break loose. That's the deal. So you better be okay with the 5G being weak if you have family that had the you know what. Okay, and understand something. Go look up our MCT oil C60 and our hemp oil, and guess what? It's made out of high frequency molecule, the highest molecule on the planet. And if you were to get on C60 and Black Diamond and Black Gold, okay, all right, it'll actually clear that stuff out. Now, that's not a pitch. I'm telling you, I know it. We're only working on hundreds of patients right now that did this, that don't want the symptoms anymore. And if you can get rid of the symptoms, you bring down the problem. Okay, my 11-year-old has ADHD. You better get these. If you're going to let her on the phone, on the computer, on the TV, and guess what? The 11-year-old generation it has been said that they will live to no longer than 40 years old. And guess what? Do you know why? Mommy, Maria, remember something. take a look at all the stuff that you give your daughter, the amount of sugar, the amount of chemicals, the amount of flour, the amount of dairy in it, okay? And then take a look at the Wi-Fi usually never gets turned off all night long, and this young child is still developing, and the Wi-Fi is disrupting all her cells, okay? And she's on the phone as much as she can because they're addicted. Blue light is addicting. Whether you believe this or not, they could have built our phones with scalar waves and Tesla waves, and when we're on our phone, it could have actually healed us. You don't get this? This is a life-threatening, fun-filled adventure, and they don't want to kill us right away. They just want to painfully do it, okay? By the time you're ready to go, you're out of money. And what did you do? You worked your ass off for 50 years to have it taken from you in 20 after that, okay? That's not going to happen to me. No. You know, just know this, guys. If you ever want to know of a way, we're going to be advertising it when I come out with my platform. But we take our practitioners and our patients that really want to not have to pay the tax that everybody does, and we take them to Puerto Rico, which is United States, right? You guys do know that, right? And you do know that you can get a corporation for around $4,000 and only pay 4% tax if you work for yourself. If you have your own job, you work for yourself. And if you want to get a second corporation, then you can take that 4% and you can give it to a nonprofit. You know what they're doing to your money, don't you? You do realize how much money we've given to the Ukraine and how much money we left in Afghanistan, but money's not even real anyways. But the reality is the more I get to keep, the more I get to share with you. And if you don't believe me, well, my library costs me $250,000 to build, and it's all free for you. And the reality is this, I know the only thing that will cure this planet is unconditional love. And that's the truth. Do you need surgery if you have a hole in your eardrum? Are you willing to take infinite iodine, which is the only pure iodine? And everybody needs iodine every day. And if a pregnant mother doesn't do iodine while she's pregnant, her baby, its mentality will be reduced by at least 20 to 30%. Didn't know that, did you? And a lot of other things could go wrong. But you should be putting iodine, about 6 drops of iodine in your ear 3 times a day, infinite iodine, no other kind, because Lugol's iodine and Nacean iodine are toxic. I don't care what people say. They're not great for you like ours. There's nothing that'll touch ours. So you put that in, you let it sit there for about 3 minutes. After you do that, then what I would like you to do, okay, is I'd like you to put what's called Ear Restore, just a couple of drops of that. This is very inexpensive. And then do a little squirt of silver bullet gel when you go to bed at night, and then put a warm pack on there, and guess what? That ear will heal. But instead, I gotta change this. So what I want you to do is I want you to do the infinite iodine, about 6 drops, for about 3 minutes, let it soak. After about 3 to 5 minutes, then I want you to put C60 in. I want you to put in about 4 drops of C60. C60 will heal the ear. MCT oil C60 will heal the ear faster than the Ear Restore. And then put a little squirt of silver gel and put a hot pack on there. But before you do it, grab your ear and rotate it, okay? Rotate it like this so we can loosen up the scar tissue and everything. And if you would get yourself a clapper, I have a clapper, it's in the house, I'll bring it next time. But it's a purple clapper, we sell them. And I want you to clap your ear, around your ear for about 20 minutes to increase the circulation. Now tell me your ear won't heal. It will heal. It will heal. Are you going to bring the frequency up? Do you understand that high frequencies will get rid of the issues in your tissues? That's it. That's it. I have that book in my kitchen, whatever that is. Christina, they told me I had a hernia. Stopped animal products 42 years ago. Retired but look 40. Dr. Wolfe knows his stuff. Oh yeah, so a hernia is actually you pooping in your pelvis, girl, and that rots out. Every disease is tissue rotting. And so she cleaned up her diet, brought up the vibration, peritoneal healed itself. No more hernia. I had a guy with a hernia. His name was Tom. Go look at it on YouTube. Tom hernia. Type that in. And his hernia was big as a very large plum. And he was just going to surgery. His wife talked him out of it. It took us 6 months to totally reverse it. Now he just has a little piece of scar tissue left. PTSD, how is this treated? Emotions are stored in the body. Well, first of all, Darius, there's no such thing as PTSD. It's shell shock. So whether you went to war or whether you had trauma in your life, tell it long enough and strong enough and it'll never leave. So what if you decided to put a smile on your face, a slight smile, and every time you started to go down that story, you had a little hair band, elastic band, or you had 3, 2, 1, I got this, Braveheart love band, and you went 3, 2, 1, I got this. I got this. I approve of myself. I love myself. I'm going to pick up my passion and purpose and I'm going for it. So understand something. Just know this. Most people with PTSD are people that are coming back from some type of military duty. I really feel for you guys. All you wanted to do is be a hero and do something great. And guess what happened? You came back and you were disrespected the whole way. The whole thing is BS, guys. You couldn't get me to go to war with a neighbor, anybody in my country, or anybody in any other country, or any other part of the universe. I'm going to war with no one. War is full of bullshit. And understand, these people that we're going to war with, we buy these BS stories so we can go and collect all the goodies for the same people that put the diaper on our face. End of story. You are right. Vegetarians do not always eat healthy if they eat soy or wheat. No, they're in big trouble if they do. And they're always looking for alternatives. Don't look for alternatives. Look for a whole plant-based diet. Fruits, vegetables, juicing, okay? Whole grains, root vegetables. Guys, you know what? I eat a really beautiful life. I have a beautiful life with I love my food. Most of you are just addicted to chemicals. That's all you're addicted to. Thought on organic popcorn made with olive oil or coconut oil. I'm going to tell you one thing. Nobody's perfect, sweetheart. And if you want to have that, you go right ahead. Just make sure that you take your daily cleansing tea before you go to bed that night, okay? So that it doesn't linger in your large intestine. Remember something. Here's the deal. I'm gonna just say this. My daughter has severe candida. What products of yours may help? Okay, I'm gonna answer this, and then I'm gonna answer about when I cheat, okay? All right, I'm a big cheater, okay? So first of all, your daughter has severe candida. Well, the reality is your daughter's getting sugar, dairy, refined flour products. If she isn't, then she got a round of antibiotics that kicked the living crap out of her, and she probably had antibiotics, but now if she's on animal products or dairy or cheese or milk or yogurt, any animal product, she's getting antibiotics every day. If you just understood that antibiotics are a form of chemo, when you take antibiotics, I just love this. My son has an earache. What can I do, doctor? Oh, you need to give him antibiotics. So he takes the antibiotics, goes down here, it blows up the good bacteria in his large intestine, but that's going to heal the ear infection. Are we like out of our skull? What is wrong with us? Now, your daughter has severe candida, okay, because of all those things I said. And the reality is, if you don't want to clean up your daughter's large intestine, I don't know what age she is, but if your daughter cleaned up her large intestine with daily cleansing tea, black gold, and if your daughter did vaginal infusions, ladies, go look up at vaginal infusions in my library. Okay, you're gonna find there's I'm putting a guide in there, and it just says vaginal infusions and the ultimate coffee enema, because they're so important. And if your daughter, I don't know how old she is, if she did vaginal infusions and she did the ultimate coffee enema, and you just got her on the perfect day diet. Why don't you go take a look at the 4 pillars of the perfect day, and then maybe even pay $150 and get a consult and make us responsible. All right? She has to take responsibility too, though. But remember what Candida is. Just know you know, everyone. So the yeast that we all have in our body gets turned into a fungus when you do antibiotics. And if you're doing animal products, you're doing antibiotics every day. So the reality is when you take antibiotics, what that does is that turns the good bacteria into bad bacteria, which is not cool, because now lots of endotoxin going into your bloodstream. But here's the big problem. The yeast goes into a candida fungus, and they're called drill bit predators, and they're going to drill holes through your large intestine. So now she's pooping in her pelvis. That candida that was in her large intestine is going to get into her vagina and into her bloodstream, and then we have what we call systemic candidiasis. So now we become full of fungus. So we do know that cancer is a fungal infection. We do know that eczema, psoriasis is a fungal infection. We do know that ear problems is a fungal infection. We do know that sinus problems are a fungal infection because this is like a cave, that's like a cave. We do know that toe fungus is actually a fungal problem. We do know that vaginitis is one. We do know that jock itch is one. How am I doing? And the reality is that we got to get rid of the fungus. But there you go. Oh, here we go. Last thing, and I promise I'll do this, okay? So I'm going to be teaching a class starting tomorrow. It's a whole life coach course. If you're in Stewart, Florida, you want to come and take it, let me know. We start tomorrow, and then my son Sage, Dr. Sage Wolfe, will start his Wolfe Non-Surgical, which is the most powerful body work in the world. I will come up against anybody that does body work anywhere, and I will prove that we are. And the reality is, if you do not know how to take scar tissue, open it up so it becomes beautiful connective tissue and getting the calcium back into the bones, then you don't know what you're doing. That's it. Okay, you might be reducing people's pain, but I don't want pain management. I want to master the pain. We want to be the master of the pain. We don't want pain management. That sucks. Do you ever notice these things always suck? Okay, they suck the life right out of us. Here we go, last thing. So let's say I go tonight and I'm going to go eat something that I usually don't eat. That's not really that good for me, but I'm going to go do it anyway. So before I do that, I'm going to take HCl, hydrochloric acid capsules. You can buy them from the drugstore, buy them from the health food store. I'm going to take 2 or 3, depending on how much I decide I'm going to eat, okay? If you're poo, okay, I'm going to take 2 or 3 of them, depending on how bad I'm going to be and how I'm going to overeat, right? So I'm going to do that right before I start eating. Then into the eating, we have what's called Digest Complete or Fiber Clear. I'm going to take about 8 or 10. You're going to, what? No, well, I am, because I can go eat a bad diet and eat a fair bit of it. And at the end of the diet, I'm going, yeah, I feel good. But you don't want to pull that off every night because everything is frequency, right? So then I'm going to go home and I'm going to do 8 ounces of the daily cleansing tea. And then I'm going to go to bed without a rumbly tumbly or no heartburn. And then even if I did eat wrong and I get heartburn, what I'm going to do is take a teaspoon of baking soda, put it into a glass of warm water, drink it, so I neutralize the acid, so that's not spewing up into my throat and my lungs, okay, and creating heart problems. Thank you very much. And in the morning, I'm going to get up feeling just grand, because guess what? It'll be a grandstand, because I'll look in the toilet and there'll be like a 7 to 9 foot stool in there going, yeah, there's last night's supper. It's not inside of me and creating what we would call the atomic bomb. Hallelujah. Okay. All right. You have a good day. Have a great day. I got to go and get set up for tomorrow. We're going to be doing our whole life coach course, and I said the Wolfe Non-Surgical, and then we're going to do a 3-day pelvic course for women here. Go to braveheartnation.com and check out our courses, check out our trainings. We'll come to your house, we'll come to your clinic, we'll train you. Please, you're not stupid, okay? They just made us ignorant. Okay, think about it. You got out of school, you didn't know how to treat yourself, you didn't know how to feed yourself, you didn't know how to love yourself. Holy crap. Let's get started, okay? Let's become a Braveheart Nation. Let go of that constipation on an emotional and physical level. Bless everyone.